and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
We got some breaking news here. This is an ongoing story. Earlier this week, Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic, was a magazine about oceans. He said that he was added to a Signal chat with people in the highest echelons of national security. Mm-hmm. I'm talking the SecDef. I'm talking the head of national intelligence, the national head of intelligence,
director,
the CIA director, the head of the CIA intelligence nationals, all of them were in this. And it was a war chat supposedly about the Houthi rebels. Mm-hmm. And he said, "I got added to this. They don't even like me. They think I'm scum." And they added me to this chat, and you know, I'm putting it in the paper, and they all said, this guy's the worst." Hegseth and Mike Waltz, the national security advisor, said this guy's a known liar. We don't like him. Maybe he hacked my phone. Blah blah blah. And then nothing we released got was classified anyway. And then now breaking news: the war. He released this what's his name, Goldberg guy. He released the full chats apparently. And here we go. It's the Houthis war plan chats.
The Atlantic released the entire Signal chat among Trump's senior national security officials Wednesday, showing that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth provided the exact timing of warplane launches and when bombs would drop.
Let's skip to the actual chat here. Because it actually includes, what was revealed was jaw-dropping in its specificity and includes the type of information that is kept to a very close hold to protect the operational security of a military strike. In the group chat, Hegseth posted a 1215 F-18's launch for a strike package. 1:45. I'm not going to say military time. I don't believe in it. Trigger-based F-15. First strike window starts. Target terrorist is at his known location, so he should be on time. So it's good. It'd be good if he didn't have this and the access to this. If it didn't leak, that would be great. Which I guess it didn't, but that's good because he would have known then, and then he would have gotten away like slip through your fingers like so many buttons.
This one is probably the 1415 one.
215. We don't speak military time in this household.
I'm sorry, I forgot. This is probably the most damning one.
Strike drones on target. In parentheses, this is when the first bombs will definitely drop, which I love. I love that part. This is when they'll definitely drop, boy. Hey, Cliff Notes, this is when the bombing starts. This is the good stuff. Skip to this point. Yeah, he literally should have posted like a timestamp in the comment section of this going, skip to here if you want to see the war plan. More to follow. So, I mean, look, this is not...
It's weird that like random words are capitalized in these like a unhinged tweet or something.
Yeah, I mean, or they're just emphasis. It's just like, this is when the first bombs will definitely drop. You know, he didn't want anyone to get fusion. Hey, I know you guys are here for the, for the money shot, and I ain't gonna disappoint.
The Godspeed to our warriors part at the end.
I like that.
That was particularly fun.
I would like to end every podcast that way. Godspeed to our warriors. Hey, warriors, Godspeed. I love. If you think about that for a second, it is kind of the lamest thing you can say to a warrior. Mm. Like, oh, you're a warrior. You go into harm's way and you strike the devil in his own heart in the midst of hell. Godspeed. You know? Oh, you spent 6 years at a POW camp with your fingernails being removed? Godspeed. You know, it's just like, oh, thank you for your husband's sacrifice. Godspeed, lady. As you hand her a flag.
But it's like, especially knowing that you might that this chat might be getting them all killed.
Yeah.
Like,
leaking this info to China. Godspeed. I mean, look, as
in we're gonna speed up your meeting with God. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to be the guy who harps on this. Because it's always annoying to be the guy who says, well, what if this happened? Even though this is egregious. Don't get me wrong. From any kind of normal... I mean, I'm not an expert on national security, so I could be wrong. But I think adding this to a journalist, giving a journalist access to this, seems like a faux pas, but whatever. But, you know, but it just seems like, you know, the harp on it, like, well, what's the worst that could have happened? So, you know, if China had gotten this, would the Houthis be in charge of America now?
Maybe. We'd all be speaking Houthi.
Is that a language, Houthi?
I don't think so.
I'd like to look. Can we? Is that have that on? What's the app that I was using it all last year to try to learn Japanese.
Oh, Duolingo.
Duolingo.
Oh yeah. People they speak Arabic.
Oh, okay. I bought the Rosetta Stone Arabic years ago because I wanted to join the CIA when I was like 20, and I just never did it. Everything else in my life. But yeah, so we got Goldberg has said he asked the White House if it opposed publication. If the White House responded that it would prefer he did not publish. So why'd you ask?
Yeah.
Signal. I mean, because I was watching some other thing with this guy, and look, people are saying, you know, Heck said it was, or Waltz. I'm sorry, Mike Waltz, I think, who's the national security advisor. What was he on CNBC? What was his deal? Because Heck said it was Fox News. Right?
He seems to be taking the fall for ready to take the fall for all of this.
Well, he did. Yeah, he said I'm the one who did this at first. I guess it was his meeting.
Yeah.
It seems like, you know. So I guess, you know, I don't know much about this Mike Waltz guy. At first, I thought they were talking about, you know, Tim Waltz, the white boy taco man.
Yeah, it's easy to get them confused.
I confuse these two guys constantly.
If I were Jeffrey Goldberg, is that his name? I
think so.
I would not have been so hasty.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he could have just hung out in that chat for a little bit longer. You know, like
this happened like a month ago.
You know, you could be like the War Games kid.
But this happened. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
This happened like weeks or a month ago.
Right.
So like he didn't like publish it right away.
Right.
But you want him to just lay low for like years?
Yeah.
And how is that like the War Games kid?
He should have changed his name to Tulsi Gabbard in the chat and just like, you know, chilled out for a while. See if he gets any other state secrets. That's what I would want to do.
I mean, I think to be fair, I think is why he waited a few weeks. And he's just like, I'm not, and it was just pictures of people's genitals in the locker room. I'm like, does this look normal to you? It's like, I'm a surgeon general, I'm not your doctor.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The lack of patience is what bothers me about Americans today. This could take years to get something really juicy. This might not be even the juiciest thing.
We might not be a country in 2 years. I don't know what you're talking about. Things are accelerated. You better publish now.
I want the juice.
People, you want the juice and don't need a berry. That's my dad used to say. Why do we need berries? I buy juice from a man. What man? He never tell me. Signal. I mean, I've heard of Signal. It's encrypted. This is the thing. People got mad because it's on Signal, which is an app that's like designed for encrypted communication. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
I never believed that. I mean, people much smarter than me, I guess, and more qualified than me seem to think it's encrypted. But I just go, what do you mean? Who's telling me it's encrypted? The guys who made Facebook? Not literally them, but, you know, like tech guys. Oh, it's encrypted. Use this. Like, yeah, I know it. This is like that ab scam. Remember ab scam, where the FBI had boats in Miami or whatever, and they got these and they got these corrupt congressmen to come down. They dressed up like, you know, like, I guess I don't know if it was actually dressed like Arabs, but that was the idea. Mm-hmm. I don't know how authentic they were, but they were dressed like, you know, Arab mullahs or whatever. and they entrapped a bunch of congressmen. Because they were just, congressmen are just notoriously greedy. This is like the 70s or 80s.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I would love to, look, that's when, back in the old days, you could just dress up like a sheik. And then get some guy to admit to...
Exactly. See, that's the kind of thing I miss.
Yeah.
Dressing up as somebody else, pretending to be somebody else.
Right.
You know, Halloween time all the time. That's what I want.
That's what the CIA was supposed to be. Yeah. It's a bunch of Halloween boys getting their tricks on, getting their treats on, and then... And then they had to get greedy, and then the Bay of Pigs ruined everything. Because then, you know, Dulles did his thing. You know what he did. We don't know what Dulles did.
Yeah.
You know, Lucie... Things are getting rough out there.
Very rough.
People need to be able to hide from whatever is outside. Whoever, whatever they want from you, whatever you did to them to make them so mad.
Sometimes when I'm in our apartment,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I wish I'm like, I don't feel safe here. I need a place to retreat to in the apartment. Another structure.
I know you think maybe you should talk to me, your husband, but I think you should talk to MG Construction. How about that? Because this is what they do. They build structures, all right? That's how they roll. They specialize in prefab ADU construction, okay? And custom architectural building. You know what that means? They'll build things for you. They'll build you a deck. Imagine.
That sounds nice.
I know you're sitting there, you're going, oh, yeah, that's right. It sounds nice. I know you're sitting there going, oh, well, they leak our secrets, though. These government guys leak our secrets to the Houthi rebels, right? And Social Security. Oh, what a mess. Doge. Oh, no, Doge. But imagine if we were on a deck saying those things.
Oh, that would be so luxurious.
Drink a nice hard seltzer.
Just enjoying the sun.
And then we're talking about Houthi rebels on our deck. So much better. Just like that's the thing. Nothing's gonna change. Get yourself a deck or a shed. Some kind of shed structure where you can keep your tools. When your wife's yelling at you, you don't do enough to pleasure me. You go out there and you just look at your tools. I'm gonna go build something, and all you build is resentment. But you know, for her. But not in your. But you don't feel that in the shed.
And when you finally have to buckle and call a real man to handle the situation,
Yeah.
These folks won't make you feel ashamed.
They won't come into your house, trick you, say, hey, let me get an estimate, and they bring 10 other guys and they pin you down and they make you watch while they make your wife's dreams come true. All that pleasure she was talking about. Now I get it. But this is horrible. But I get it. That you won't have to get it if you call MG Construction.
That's right.
They just did something in Tucson, Arizona. They just finished a project in Tucson, Arizona. You can't just go to Tucson, Arizona and just go flopping around if you don't know what you're doing. This guy's quality. This guy will build whatever you want. And he doesn't have a slogan. He wants us to come up with a slogan for him. MG Construction. Your wife will feel nothing. MG
Construction. Your wife will not be touched.
MG Construction. We don't believe in the female orgasm. MG Construction. The only thing pinning you down will be crippling debt, but not from him. He's reasonably priced. But you made a lot of poor choices before. This is the first right choice you made. It's called MG Construction. You made a lot of wrong choices, didn't you? You indulged too much, and you were loose with your money. Well, now get tight. MG Construction, get tight.
That's a catchphrase.
I think it is. I think it's gonna be a lot of business with this guy. Look at it. Let's look at his thing. Look at these structures. MG Construction is based in the Bay Area, but he does travel anywhere for projects, anywhere in the United States. Do you know what it's like? Do you know how many people I can call who'll come from anywhere in America, anywhere in the United States?
Nobody.
If I was in a ditch, dying, watching my wife get tag teamed from she's up in the she's above the ditch, and I'm looking up and seeing this, and they're laughing at me, and I call anyone in the world in America, they won't come except MG Construction.
That's right.
He'll come, and my wife won't. To call him today, here's the link. The link's here. You've been seeing the link the whole time. Go here, check out his stuff, see if it's for you. I'll give you a hint. Probably is. It's pretty good. All right, MG Construction. What is it?
Get tight.
MG Construction. Get tight. Yeah, who's the fall guy here? Who should take the fall?
I mean, I think that probably like Radcliffe.
Who the hell's Radcliffe? Daniel Radcliffe from the Harry Potter guy? The guy who played, what's her name is very mad at him right now. All I see are stories about how J.K. Rowling hates Harry Potter or hates the kid.
Yeah.
She hates those kids because they were like, I don't know, they said like, stop.
Because they fucked her. I don't even like J.K. Rowling or her trans takes.
Right.
I think that she should calm down because, it wasn't a trans woman that beat her. It was her husband,
I didn't know. I know none of this. Okay.
But
she got beat?
But
in the streets?
But I do kind of understand. I do actually sympathize with her point of view of like this little snot-nosed kid. Yeah. I gave him his entire career and now he's fucking turning on me. I get that.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, she's got like $1 billion, right? Why don't you relax? Why don't you freaking relax?
I actually sympathize more with the more evil thing.
Yeah,
in some ways.
I don't know what any of this is. Why don't you go get a boat? Why don't any of you people like boats? You realize? I mean, how good is it? Look at Musk. What is Musk doing? Get on the ocean.
Yeah.
It's not. Bezos at least has a yacht. I'm sure Musk has a yacht, but does he go on it? Bezos is always on there with his weird woman. Well, I guess his wife, new wife.
His weird woman.
She's not. She seems whatever. She's very extra. It seems like.
Really, Bezos' wife?
The new wife.
I haven't seen Bezos' new wife, Mackenzie Scott.
Yeah, she's very. I don't know, but she's just like she's like a fitness model or something. I don't know. She's just got like very done up.
Yeah.
Very pronounced. That's not the point. The point is, I would love to go in the ocean to get in a boat.
I'm kind of honestly shocked that you think this woman is crazy done up.
I don't know. It's not you pick up a random picture. I'm not going to defend this.
Okay.
I've seen other pictures than the one you got of Google image that he controls somehow. All right. I'm sure he removed the scary pictures of his new wife or girlfriend or whatever. I mean, is this his wife or is this his girlfriend? No, look at maybe not married yet. Bring up his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
He divorced that woman for the new one. The new one's. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Here we go.
Lauren Sanchez.
Lauren Sanchez. Oh, now who's the duck calling the kettle black?
She is extra.
Yeah, she's extra. What do you want from me? Why don't you do this? No one needs anyone getting involved in anything anymore. Just go on a boat. Things are on autopilot right now, and they're crashing, as they should be. We've all had a lot of fun. Let's rein it in, boys. Let's rein it in. No one needs to go slashing old people's bank accounts. No one needs to go looking for fraud in my grandma's underwear drawer. Everything's fine. And it's going to end. And that's fine. All right? Enough of it. Just get a yacht. But yeah, I mean, back to the actual what we're talking about. So John Radcliffe. Okay, he's the CIA director. Yeah, maybe he should go. Or maybe Tulsi Gabbard is right. When you first brought this up, I'm like, why would because people are calling for Tulsi Gabbard to get got for this, right? But I'm like, why would she? She's the director of national. And I'm realizing, yeah, this is an intelligence leak. Why not get you're supposed to catch these guys, even if it's your Secretary of Defense,
Yeah.
or your national security advisor. You're supposed to get these guys.
You think
Technically, though, I mean, honestly, the FBI director really should be the one catching them. On American soil, they're American citizens. That's really the FBI's purview.
So you think that's who should be...
I don't know if he was on the chat, but he's really responsible. He should be investigating the leak, at least. Maybe he is. Right. But, that's the thing. That's his responsibility. The CIA director can probably be like, look, I can't operate in America. I can't arrest. When this happened, I couldn't arrest this man. Or even say, maybe don't tell us this stuff on Signal. I don't know. Other people are saying Signal's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if the military app that the Pentagon makes for $8 billion is any better.
Right.
Maybe it is.
But
probably
also,
is.
Yeah, it's also probably, that probably has its own back doors or whatever.
Yeah, straight to Israel. We got it. No, yeah, like everything. Of course it is. No, of course,
Exactly.
Of course. Like everything else is government. Israel has it before anyone in our government has it, and
with Signal, a journalist might see what you say, but with their app, Benjamin Netanyahu sees everything.
Bites your ass.
Right.
It says, "Shut up, bitch." What was revealed was I don't know if this is jaw dropping. I mean, it is unusual, the specificity of all this. How do we fix this? Some people might say, look, this happens all the time and no one reports it.
Yeah.
No one has said that, by the way. But someone might say that.
What do you say? Or if this were a Democratic administration, they would have been more.
If this was a Democratic administration, you would have made my son wear a dress and go join a football team and have him put pine cones and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Hazing.
Right.
What do you say to those people?
I would say that that's probably true. We do know about it,
right?
And it's pretty stupid.
Here's the problem:
look pretty stupid.
Yeah, and you accuse them like you've already gotten your points of accusing the Democrats of putting your son in a dress,
right?
And joining the football team, getting hazed with pine cones.
You can't just go back to that every single time.
You can't double bank. Yeah, you use that to get in. Whether it was true, maybe if it was true, then you used it. Good. If it wasn't, well. You got it.
Good for you anyway.
You can't get over it twice.
Yeah.
I guess you can.
Maybe you can.
This is America.
Maybe they can do the trans thing forever.
I would love if they just I mean, that should be the line.
Yeah.
You know, my goddamn son's in a dress. What do they do with the pine cones? What do they do with the pine cones? I don't want to talk about it. Every day with the pine cones. Remember, we have a...
They honestly, they would be smart to spread the rumor that Jeffrey Goldberg has a pussy. Yeah, at this point.
Look, I know what you're saying. Look, okay, it's interesting. So you think that they should... refresher, Jeffrey Babelberg.
Yeah.
Babelberg is the guy who... the journalist.
Yeah.
And you think they should leak that he has a pussy.
Yeah.
And they'll discredit him. And it might work. What if they said... But it's not the Republicans going after him for the most part. What if they said Pete Hegseth has a pussy? That's the strategy. And maybe he should get one. If Trump went to him and said, "Hey, look," he brings him and Waltz in, right? And he goes, "Hey, look, I know this could happen to anyone. It didn't mean any harm, but we gotta get through this. You have two options. I'd love to keep you on. You guys are doing a great job otherwise. I'd love to keep you both on. You gotta get pussies." We got to cut off. We got to take that big. I'm sure you got some nice hogs down there. We just cut them. I'm not sure how it works. Just inside out, shove it back in, whatever. The anesthesia, it's fine. Will you do this? Will you help your president? Will you salute your fallen warriors? Will you Godspeed this? I mean, that would work. How do you?
What would it work? In what sense would it work?
How are you going to call for the resignation of the first trans Secretary of Defense and trans National Security Advisor?
Oh God!
After all all the Democrats have done, how are they going to do that?
Yeah,
impossible.
They would never do it.
It would be you see that show, the Queen's Gambit? It'd be the King's Gambit because it's that good. It's such a gambit. I mean, honestly, that would be the political move of all time. Name the next best political move is when King Solomon sliced the baby in half,
right?
Or said he was going to. That was like that.
It would be so you're saying it would be the King Solomon move here.
Yeah, the King Solomon's gambit.
For all of the top Trump officials to come out and say they have the opposite genitals than what you would think they have.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard's like, I got a baby. Look at this.
That'll be their Spartacus moment, basically.
She's waving around.
I have a pussy. Yeah. I have a pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And Tulsi Gabbard's the only one they actually fire.
Yeah.
She doesn't get it.
I have a cock. That's disgusting. You're out.
You're filthy. You're a filthy woman.
What are you talking about? Jesus. A lot of people want Tulsi Gabbard to resign.
Well, I mentioned that. I mean, that doesn't seem... I mean, it makes... In the end, I guess you could argue... I mean, it would be hilarious. Like, well, she's ultimately responsible as the because she's the director of national intelligence. What does that even mean anymore? Because it used to be that the CIA director, if I remember correctly, before 9/11, the CIA director was also the director of central intelligence, which you would think is just a rewording, but it's actually like a thing that's at least on a flow chart above the CIA. Even though he's both, but he was also kind of the head of the NSA and the naval intelligence, all this crap. It technically, I don't know if it all flew through him. Mm-hmm. But now I don't know what director of national intelligence, because we have a Homeland Security director, we have CIA director. I don't know what the DNI. I guess she coordinates with what is Navy? I'm sure they do good stuff, but I mean, does it really need to be coordinated? Isn't naval intelligence more like this boat looks funny? Let's look at this boat. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about, but I imagine it's a lot of this boat looks fishy. Let's look into it. But it would be funny if she was the only one to lose her job, just because I don't know. I don't like that Cruella de Vil hair thing she has. But and you're asking,
the single gray streak in her hair.
Yeah, what are you, a skunk? Enough of this. I like it. I like
it. It reminds me of Storm from the X-Men.
I like that. Well, sure. Yeah. I like that she's anti-war, supposedly. I like that she's from Hawaii. That's nice. That makes me think about sunshine. So I like it.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
And the rest of it, I don't really care. Here's the thing.
You love fun in the sun.
This is egregious, but also like it's not like the Houthi rebels are gonna come invade us. All right, like it is kind of funny to hand wring about what would have happened. Like, you never want to play games with someone's life, though. I thought we were all drones, though. I'm confused. It's like, is pilots in danger? But I thought we've been drones for 20 years. I know we have planes, and I'm sorry I don't know when we used them. When everything's just dropping. I mean, when? When do we decide to put people at risk for no reason?
Right.
I want someone to see the people scream and tell me a computer won't give me the extra oomph, the extra color. One day they'll make a robot or a computer that, Siri will be able to tell me how the babies cried just before as they played tetherball and looked up and saw the bomb parachute. The bomb's parachute down. Is that really a thing?
I don't know if they still send them down in parachutes, but I mean, don't they target them now? Or are they like kind of? I thought that it kind of advanced more than that.
You're probably right. I'm probably thinking of like the World War I. It would be nice though. By the way, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/RayComp. You get an extra episode every week for a good deal, and it's reasonable price, and you can do that. And if you don't want to do that, just like and subscribe to the show.
Please.
I'm not gonna say please. Well, please.
Yeah.
But really, what does it cost?
I don't mean it desperate. I just mean it politely.
What does it cost you? Are you shaving skin off your wrist in order to do this? Right. I hope not. I hope it's nothing.
Don't donate your plasma too much.
Just go into your settings. Yeah, go into your settings. Look up notifications. Make sure we're running a notified podcast, and then go into your API settings and adjust the tethering mode, and make sure the Kump podcast can tether. All right, is that hard? Consult your local network administrator, please. We need this. We're dying here. I know it's a pain in the ass to call IT. They're smug, and they're not as smart as they think they are. But they have the firewall, and you can't install your own apps. And you know deep down that most of them are doing what you would do anyway, which is watch a YouTube video on it. But you can't prove that. You can't prove that unless you put a camera there. But then what if you put the camera there, but then they put that camera in the lady's bathroom, and it's your camera? Checkmate. Yeah. You're not dumb. Oh, I'll put a little spy cam. And they all know to do that. They all know, dude. They're tech guys. That's all they did. That's their first instinct anyway. So, I mean, more fool me. So you're not gonna get me on that Joker's gambit. Not the Joker. What's the Bishop's? The Bishop's gambit. Joker. There's no Joker in chess. Speaking of horror and whatnot, there is a situation. This is not a military thing. This is a domestic. But it could become a military thing. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. How you phrase that. I like how you fearmonger. Yeah. So 23andMe is a company. They're filing for bankruptcy. Are you familiar with 23andMe? I think that my DNA is about to be sold. And what infuriates me about it is it wasn't even my decision. I would never do a 23andMe. Would you actually have a 23andMe? I would never give him my blood. But somebody related to me did do one, so they probably have, they have close enough. They have blood that's similar enough to my blood. Yeah, they get Uncle Jerry the friggin' and hair that's similar enough to my hair. They can grow another you, and it'll be a little off. Yeah, because it's not you directly; it's through Uncle Jerry. Right. And so you'll have some of him in there. God, I hope it's a little bit off. Yeah. I really hope my clone isn't hotter and smarter than me. No, it'll probably be drunk. Yeah, big drinker. People are very scared. This is the thing. 23andMe's been around for a while. It's the app where you go and you go, hey, here's my blood. Here's a little bit of my piss and my blood, my hair. Yeah. And they go, well, here are the war. And they go, here are the war crimes your family committed, or whatever. Or here's like, here's how many smallpox blankets your grandma ate. Like, don't eat those, grandma. I can't believe I have the one Native American grandma who ate the blankets. You're not supposed to eat. She made a stew out of them. Even my noble Native American grandma was the dumbest Native American. I've also always suspected that they make things up in those things. Sure. It's like your great grandfather saved a slave from drowning. I would like it's like it's like how do you know that? Yeah, based on my blood. Yeah.
Sometimes the genealogy results sound like, like the way a therapist speaks to an innie in Severance, Your great-grandfather
right.
drove very well.
Your great-grandfather saved a slave from drowning. Well, that's nice. Yeah. Well, all the while screaming, this guy's worth a lot of money. I can't let him die. So it's not the story you're hoping. Hopefully I can save a foot. So this company, so they basically tell you your heritage, I guess. Everyone's very concerned about their family tree, which I've never cared about. Apparently,
I would never care about my family tree.
Past
a certain point.
You know what? How you know when to care about your family? When they leave you a bunch of money. When when someone leaves me a bunch of money, I go, let me learn more about them.
Right.
Who is this guy? How did he get all this money? This generous amount of money. He left me a boat. What country is he from? Very, very interesting.
You've never wanted to learn more about the relative of yours who was hung as part of the IRA for being part of the IRA?
No, that's the best case.
Right.
We know what the worst case is. Who snoop around daycares. I mean, like, you tell me someone gets hung, I'm not thinking, political prisoner. I'm thinking, people's justice.
You did hear something, right, about it? Like, they usually did some other method of...
Yeah, I mentioned it to an Irish guy, and he was like, well, yeah, usually that's more for, like, pedophiles and, sex abusers. Well, usually, but mine was political. I don't know. I've never been to Scotland. So yeah, with genetic testing company 23andMe filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The DNA of millions of users is up for sale. A Silicon Valley stalwart since 2006. That's a long time. 23andMe has steadily amassed a database of people's fundamental genetic information under the promise of helping them understand their disposition to diseases and potentially connecting with relatives.
Oh, I never actually thought about the disease thing. Yeah, you might be full of diseases from your shitty family and all of their illness.
Why? Look, the whole thing of this is the data is that right, because it's HIPAA usually, right? That keeps people from stealing this stuff, this information. But it's not HIPAA because it's a private company.
Right.
Right. So they can do this. But why is it a private? Like, I mean, can you just be a private company that does this? And then I can't do surgery, right? As a private company without HIPAA stuff.
Right.
I can't hey, I'll give you brain surgery at the mall. And then send and then take pictures of your brain and send it to a bunch of internet websites. And I think that's a HIPAA violation, right?
I think it would be.
Plus you didn't survive the operation, but whatever. But somehow because it's just it's a family tree site, they can just do. I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
As long as they're not treating you for anything, they can sell all your data.
I love this idea. Who's going to steal the fact that I'm pre-diabetic or I'm prone to diabetes because of my grandpa? What are they doing with this info? Are they going to market to me? Are they going to market
needles?
Little weird needles.
I guess the idea is that maybe in a really dystopian corporate environment, maybe the healthcare companies could take your data and deny you coverage based on some kind of pre-existing condition. If that were somehow overturned,
right?
The protection for pre-existing conditions.
That would concern me if I thought we'd ever get covered for anything anymore.
Right.
I don't see that going forward. I mean, this is but then how do they deny us coverage? Well, they can deny us coverage. What coverage? No one's getting coverage. This is like people building a house on Malibu and be like, well, how do I get insured? Shut up. This is over. It's all over. I guess this is bad. This is bleak. This is why you don't give your piss and blood to companies that corporations.
Yeah.
But why are they going that? Does anyone say that?
Anytime a company is saying they'll offer you some kind of fulfillment of your curiosity.
Yeah.
If you just give them your blood and cum.
Right.
They're gonna fuck you with that. Curiosity
killed the cat. And exactly. Curiosity got you, your kidneys, you in a bathtub with ice in it and some kidney scars. I mean, what if someone said, hey, if you give me your kidney, I'll tell you everything about,
I'll tell you how you die.
You're related to King Arthur.
Yeah.
You want to find out?
Give me your kid.
You're related to his horse. His horse abused your mother.
I wonder if like a black market for kidneys could be legitimized that way. Like, yeah.
How? King Arthur?
The way you're talking about.
Camelot organs? What is it? What do you mean?
Just what you're talking about, it's like could they take your
What part of what I was just talking about? To be clear, did you think, that's a viable plan? I was curious. The part where you wake up in the bathtub?
Oh yeah, I guess there's still you got to find a person to take your kidneys still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that you're a better business person than me. You always see you always try to
always see the upside.
Yeah, how do we squeeze some money out of this kidney? Folks have absolutely no say in where their data is going to go. Said Tayton Khan, CEO of the nonprofit Cyber Collective. What is that? The Cyber Collective. It sounds like China, which advocates for privacy rights and cybersecurity for marginalized people. All right, well that's nonsense.
Well, the name sounds evil, so maybe change it.
No, we do it for marginalized people. Look, we rob, steal, piss and cum from everyone, but we do it on the side of the angels. How can we be so sure that the downstream impact of whoever purchases this data will not be catastrophic? Well, that just seems like a loaded question. And there was another. So here's the follow-up article. 23andMe site went down. So this happened Monday night, I guess. They're like, we're going down. You better, and I guess the Attorney General said, like, hey, everyone delete your data. And then, like, the site, it was crashing. Mm-hmm. And it's like a bank run, I guess. It was like a bank run for blood. And so the login portal of 23andMe's website went down Monday evening as customers of the DNA testing company rushed in to delete their genetic data after it filed for bankruptcy. Earlier in the day, people tried to log in, faced long wait times, error messages, whatever. You read some of this? I can't. I'm sorry. Read some of this.
Those who request for deletion were processed received an email.
Just to be clear, I can read.
From the company that
I have these glasses on. It's hard to read sometimes. And now people are going to go, wait, can Ray not read? I can read. The screen's far away. I have these weird glasses.
It would be funny if the glasses were just an elaborate.
I'm blind.
we're just an elaborate thing to cover the fact that you were illiterate and can't read.
I've also been drinking like developer chemicals.
Yeah.
Kodak developer. like what's that movie? The Master. Joaquin Phoenix is drinking fucking Fixer.
For those requesting deletion, honestly, this article is written in a really shitty way.
Every article sucks. This is why I can't. I don't want to get on board with the leaky shit that is the national security apparatus.
Yeah.
But I also can't get on board with the Atlantic and the journalists because every article that's out there just is garbage. This is my new campaign: write better articles. Whatever happened to who's that guy? Who is that great article, right? Chauncey Delacroix.
Chauncey Delacroix, yeah.
Guys like that.
Amazing journalist.
Remember when he read that article about how Princess Diana was just eating Big Macs and smacking it to the pictures of King Philip, whatever his name was.
Just eating, just gorging. Just gorging on McDonald's and then throwing it up.
I would love to have that out there. Princess Diana needs to get taken down a peg. You don't get to just rewrite your life because you died. All right? This is not, nothing happened recently. Bring her back in the news. So sorry, Lady Di. But you really, what, she hugged a kid with AIDS? I could do that. Give me a kid with AIDS. I'll hug him. Give me.
You don't think at the time in England you would be one of the people afraid to hug a kid with AIDS because you'd be worried you'd get AIDS?
I just wear extra layers. I would just put on like a sweater. They love those big sweaters in England. Those big fishing sweaters. Mm-hmm. Fishermen. Those big whatever.
Yeah, and
but
so you just put on big coat, big gloves.
Yeah, those big rubber boots that go up to your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just kind of pat the kid on the head.
Yeah, you pat the kid in the head. What kind of disease you get from patting the kid in the head?
Right.
I don't want to live in a world where you get AIDS from patting the kid in the head.
Also, it's like there's probably would be just as many people who are like, politically ambitious enough that even if AIDS was contagious, like I'll catch an AIDS,
Well, AIDS is contagious.
For the photo op.
AIDS is contagious.
Well, through touch, through simple touch.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh yeah, AIDS is contagious.
I mean, is that kind of contagious? Sexually transmitted?
Yeah, I think so.
I love to ask that in med school. Like, just get out. What are you here for? Is AIDS considered contagious? What? Oh, I know. I mean, I didn't know if contagious only meant that you can get it from sneezing and stuff. Like, get out of here, idiot. You dumbass. Anyway. This is I mean, what I'm trying to audit the process because there's some sensitive information in there, he said. Who's this? Ted Weiner, an Indiana resident who has been a 23andMe cut. This is good because this will tell us why people care. Yeah. I'm not trying, again, a corporation shouldn't just go willy-nilly dumping your stuff everywhere. But also, like, I don't like fear-mongering. Right. That's just my thing. Whenever there's a fire, I'm like, why don't you calm down? Panicking ain't going to help anything. Right? Mm-hmm. I yelled at women. I just yell at you, shut up and calm down.
Don't panic.
Stop being hysterical.
Yeah.
I throw water at them. Not at the fire, at them. Ted Weiner, an Indiana resident who has been a 23andMe customer for 4 years, said that he decided to delete his data on Monday because he's worried about his... But don't they keep backups? Whatever. I mean, any company, they probably have backups on tape, right? Right. Any good company has a tape backup somewhere. I've worked in other kind of companies, and there's a tape back, and it's hard to get to. So I mean, like, who's to say? And like, are they? Is that getting updated in the tape backup when you delete it at the last second on Monday night before we shut down the company? and those assets. No, that hard drive, the backup hard drive probably goes to, the Voltron or whatever. Right. The Skeletor. Whoever buys this. Ted Widener, an Indiana resident who has been a 23andMe customer for 4 years, said that he decided to delete his data on Monday because he is worried about his privacy in the event of a sale. The deletion process was slow, but he managed to get through it with little issue. Now Widener said he is waiting on further confirmation from the company that his data has been deleted. This paragraph has been a waste of my life. This is what I'm talking about. They added nothing. Yeah.
It's just this serial killer is upset that he's not getting double confirmation fast enough. That doesn't seem like that huge of a problem.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
I'm sorry you're worried about people finding out you're a serial killer.
Here's how... Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. So who's the one that got the BTK or the Green River guy?
I think the Green River guy, yeah.
Yeah. I would just... if I was the mayor of a small, crumbling city, which is most of our cities in America... Mm-hmm. And I had a serial killer to deal with, I would leave ice cream pops everywhere and then just have janitors collect them.
Oh, delicious ice cream.
You get a bunch of cameras. You get a bunch of Ring cameras.
Nobody can resist one.
I'm going to get a bunch of Ring cameras. They're going to tell me, I'm sure my IT guys are going to tell me we need to have a government system that's weatherproof or whatever, which I think Ring probably, who knows? Yeah. So it's outside, right? The Ring. Mm. And we mount, and we can't just buy them at Best Buy and Amazon.com and just duct tape them to the poles like you're saying to do. Right. And I say, you're fired if you don't do it. I'm the king of this city. I'm the king of Cincinnati. And I need to catch this killer to make up for what happened to my wife, who divorced me. She said it was no good. So...
It'd be so funny. It's like you being a Punisher character, but like your wife just left you. She said she was murdered.
She's lazy. She's kind of unambitious.
Yeah.
But I make a lot of overtime. I'm a cop. I'm like, yeah, you're never around. I want someone to go to the beach with. Like, well, I'm going to become the Punisher. And you'll see. Like, well, good luck with that.
So you're going to leave these popsicles out for predators as bait.
Well, look, here's the thing. Not to cut you off, because but I'm going to cut you off at the pass a little bit. Because I imagine the criticism is, or like, why don't you use these swabs? But the swabs, it's not like the website doesn't matter. The 23andMe doesn't matter. They're just willingly giving the things to them, to the people.
Right.
So we just cut the middleman out.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I guess the thing is here, like if the government was doing this, they couldn't just take your data.
Maybe the popsicle, and also like maybe just to make it legal.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe the popsicle, like the place where you would have like a little riddle or a joke on the popsicle stick.
Some of them, yeah. I mean, which ones had that?
The best ones do.
Really?
And they.
Was Haagen-Dazs have that?
Well, it would be honestly like it would be cool to do a fancy ice cream bar that has that.
Like Dove.
Like a Dove ice cream bar, but it has a riddle.
It says, what's the difference?
But the riddle will say in the place where a riddle would
You
go.
finish eating your delicious ice cream bar, and then it's like a Puerto Rican and a Hispanic Jew walking into a bar. You're like, what the hell is this?
And on the other side, it says, this popsicle is government property and it will be tested.
You're canceled now.
But I think that's a good plan because, like, the kinds of people who would take a popsicle that isn't theirs and just munch on it,
Right.
is probably the same kind of people who would prey on innocent people.
If you take that kind of shortcut with a popsicle, what kind of shortcut are you taking with a woman's life?
Right. Yeah.
Great point. How short are you cutting that woman's life? It's a terrible. The shorter you cut it, the worse it is. That's the way you go. Right? Mm-hmm. That's why it's so sad when a child dies because they could have been alive for 90 years. And it's not sad when a 90-year-old dies. Yeah. But they make a big fuss about it.
I mean, if an 80-year-old was murdered.
No, I think it's sad. Yeah. But it seems like, the kid died. All right. Like, make it sad. You get mad when the old people die. You get mad when a child dies. How about get equally mad when people die? The solution. Don't kill anybody. I'm the mayor of Cincinnati, and that's my position. And that's why I got the ice cream cones and the ring cameras, and we're going to work.
That's
and we're
right.
and then we're gonna match there'll be different like numbers. You can zoom in and read the little numbers I put there.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of a crime that you're not in charge of this country.
I literally at this point am qualified.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. If this is happening, if Pete Hegseth and Mike Waltz, and look, I'm not calling for them to get fired. Stay in your job. I don't care. Bring me in though. If you can do this. I've always said I know I'm a smart enough guy. Maybe not the most educated. Maybe not the most. Maybe I don't read as much as some people.
maybe I can't read.
Maybe I can't read. Maybe I don't like learning, and I'm not curious about problem solving. And I have no discipline, and I didn't work very hard. But God damn it, I can do this. I could add journalists to a leak chat, whatever. They would love me. I bet you I would. What would I do? What would my first 100 days be?
The first 100 days, they're the most important part.
I would always bring a bag. I mean, people, and I'm not. This is not who I am. I'm not the brown noser. Obviously, I've not lived my life in a way where I ingratiate myself to anyone who could help me in any way. But that being said, I would bring Trump like an egg sandwich every day, like a nice bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel.
Oh yeah,
like a nice one, and I would just plop it on the. They probably wouldn't let me in. Cause I'd have some kind of job, like I'd work in the OEOB, the old executive office building, and I would somehow have to like. I'm trying to think if I could get into the West Wing and just throw it at the Oval Office, the egg sandwich. Mr. President! And then, Secret Service would literally punch me. I don't know.
What if you put it on a fishing pole?
Yeah.
And just kind of go, because that's not like, because that's not threatening. Throwing a projectile, that could be like, you could get shot for that.
Do you realize what a man who knows how to fish could do with a fishing pole to the president? I mean, if the Secret Service let a man, they don't know who I am. I don't know how to do it. I've hooked myself before. But I've seen people. I was in the Boy Scouts, and there was this guy, one of the dads, and he was just an older guy, and he was an outdoorsy guy, and we were hiking on Fire Island in the wet sand. And I was like, it was like 7th grade or something. And I was, I'm dragging behind, and this guy was at the head of the pack, and we were hiking like 10 miles, something crazy, weird. It was like rainy. And he just, every so often, he would get ahead of us and stop, cast a line into the ocean. We were on the beach, right? Cast a line into the ocean, and then just reel in a fish within under a minute. By the time we caught up to him, he had a fish.
Damn.
You put that guy in the West Wing, you need a new president. That's what happens. You know what Hook can do? He could hook your eye out.
Maybe a man who, with that much skill, can use a fishing pole as a deadly weapon.
Sure.
But what I'm thinking is a very slow progression. Like, you just slowly kind of, you start kind of from a high place over a window or something.
Right.
And you just slowly kind of like let it down. And
just to be clear,
just let it hang there, almost so that Trump thinks there's just like an invisible bacon, egg, and cheese.
So to be clear, Agent Steiner, this is why you didn't stop the perpetrator before he removed the president's eyes with a fishing pole. You thought he might go slow. This doesn't seem. I mean, you're not fired. We're not going to fire you because we don't do that anymore. But that seems wrong.
I just think if we could get the sandwich in his mouth.
Yeah.
That then your mission is accomplished.
What if I just wrote him notes?
Oh, little notes?
He says, this is a problem. They won't even let you brown nose. I was going to bring him a nice egg sandwich. Screw this. I'm just going to talk shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, the president's no good. No, here's how it is. What job would I have? What job do you think, think of something they might give me?
In the cabinet?
The cabinet. I mean, maybe the cabinet,
I think that you would be a good HUD. A good.
So I'm the HUD secretary?
Yeah, you're the HUD secretary.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for coming to this first meeting of the first press conference of the HUD. I don't know why anyone cares. But is it public housing? Is that what we're doing here? I'm not sure. What do we do? I'm happy to have this job. I'd be happier to have the president's job, and I think he knows I do a better job than him. But c'est la vie. So whatever. Thanks for this. And so my first act will be to turn this building into Dave and Buster's. People can still live there. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't every public house? What if every project building in the country had like a little mini arcade in the lobby area? People are going, oh, you destroy it. Maybe, but we fix it. We need jobs in this country. You give someone a job. What's better job security than having a friggin' arcade in a project building that's supposedly getting broken all the time? And maybe they don't break it. Maybe they break and keep it nice.
Oh yeah, and taking the coins out of a game.
Yeah.
That's a good just salt of the earth kind of job.
Right. Yeah.
I take the coins out. When they fill up, I take them out again.
Yeah. Sure.
That's a good job.
Hey, I just want you to know, Mr. It's on the campaign trail, so it was town hall meetings. Hey, hello, Mr. Like, how would they go down? Like, they would go, hello, Senator McCain. I just want you to know I'm a hardworking American. I take the quarters out of the video game machines in the project buildings.
That guy could be the new Joe the plumber, And
I want you to know that Obama is a Muslim. He's like, what's up? But thank you for taking the quarters out of the machine. Anyway, this is all a lot of fun. This is a story that you particularly found interesting. Mm-hmm.
There has been this just war going on about who's going to be on the $20 bill.
This has been going on for a long time. People have talked about it. So Harriet Tubman, again, I don't know if it's a new, how new, but someone else is saying it again.
Yeah.
This feels like the kind of thing, like kick the can, where every couple of years someone goes, what about Harriet Tubman in the $20 bill? Put her on the $20 bill. Andrew Jackson was a bad guy. Put her on the $20 bill. And, so I don't know if anything's actually... on Harriet Tubman Day, a new effort to place the abolitionists on the $20 bill launches. It seems, I'll give you my perspective first. Lucie has her own thing. I feel like it's perhaps, given the context of what the Democrats just went through, let's just say.
Yeah.
The reckoning they've been dealing with since the election, the realization that maybe some of their policies were a little, not resonating with the American people as much as they thought.
Right.
Let's just say.
It's like even if it didn't actively send people out to vote against them.
Right.
It definitely didn't mobilize.
Mobilize them. It turned a lot of people off. People perhaps they weren't ready for it. Perhaps your ideas are a little screwy sometimes. Who knows? Yeah. Hey, a little this, a little that.
Right.
Maybe you guys gotta figure out what people really care about. I don't know. That's just what. But you have a different perspective.
Yeah.
What's your problem with the Harriet Tubman thing?
I just don't think that this. First of all, I don't think that being on the money.
Yeah.
Is definitely is necessarily like the best way to support the cause of, like, I don't know, representing national heroes like this.
Sure.
First of all, Harriet Tubman has tons of statues. Like, she's pretty well recognized.
Okay.
You know? But also, I don't know, like Harriet Tubman, Andrew Jackson, these people are both pretty ugly. Like, I just think we should have hot people on our money.
Oh.
I don't think it's necessarily for presidents. Like, they didn't invent money.
Right.
Like, we should just have somebody who's nice to look at on there. You know?
Interesting. So you're looking at Harriet Tubman and you're going, not a hottie.
Put Mia Jovovich on the money.
Mia Jovovich.
Yeah.
Now or like back when she was, you know, like in her prime?
Back when she was in her
Right.
prime. Yeah.
Fifth Element.
Yeah.
Fifth Element. Lulu Dallas. Multipass.
George Clooney. You know,
Clooney,
he could be on a Fiverr.
George Clooney in Ocean's 11 with his, like, you know, his tie undone a little bit. You know, hey,
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah, put him on the cat. Sure. So you think Tubman's just a little not a hottie?
Yeah, look. She's fine looking for her time. She's a very like 1800s looking woman, but it's like, you know, I want hot.
Sure.
Yeah. Hot tamales.
What? So you think like Sofia Vergara? From Modern Family, perhaps that dated reference. am I out of pocket here? I thought she was a hot woman. What, Sofia Vergara is a pig because she's like, you know, what? She's like 50 now. All right, I remember thinking she's when she was married to Al Bundy or whatever on the Modern Family, Ed O'Neill. Well, what a hot tamale she is, and now you're saying, oh, what a pig. All right, she's hot, but she ain't $20 bill hot.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. As the denominations go up,
Right,
the hotter they should get.
So who goes on the $100 bill?
I mean, look, you could have a few candidates. You know, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
But then you could also go in a totally different direction.
Halle Berry.
And maybe put that trad wife from TikTok on it.
Wait, Halle Berry and the trad wife from TikTok are the hottest people you can think of in existence in all of history?
Well, it should be relevant to who's hot. You know, I think that
Halle Berry hasn't been like relevant for like years. Like decades, really. I mean, I think Catwoman ruined her career, didn't it?
Yeah, but she looked hot. I mean, it was a dumb movie, but she looked hot in it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what about like, you know, whatchamacallit, the girl from Audrey Hepburn, or like, what? You don't think Audrey Hepburn's hot? You want new. I
think that Audrey Hepburn is classy and hot, but it's not necessarily money hot. I want a little bit of cleavage on the money.
I didn't realize that Audrey Hepburn didn't have any,
or maybe
she didn't have any junk
bulge.
in it. You tell me,
you know, like, but
bulge.
Audrey Hepburn is just too like buttoned up. Like, you know, she's too much of a good girl.
So you want like some like one of like Jack Ruby's like showgirls?
Yes, exactly.
I don't think you understand how money works. This is gonna ruin our country. I mean, Halle Berry is fine. We'll put Halle Berry's in the 20. It won't make any sense. Does Billy Bob Thornton get to be on it too? Like
Billy Bob Thornton.
Well, Monsters Ball. I mean, that was her big movie. And X-Men, I guess.
I don't know what you don't understand about this. I'm talking about putting attractive people on the money, not the people who pretended to fuck them in a movie.
All right.
But it's like, you know, what about, you know, Kate Upton could be on something.
Kate Upton's great.
Yeah.
Why not Kate Upton?
Yeah.
Or Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie, for sure.
Or the girl from that Broadway play. Gypsy.
Yeah.
Very
the girl
attractive.
who's in Gypsy.
See, I'm diverse.
Yeah.
She was black. I'm not just picking white women.
No, yeah, like this is not about just putting white people.
I'm not trashing Halle Berry because she's black, but yeah, whatever. I'm saying people go, why is Kump? I don't think anyone listening to our show actually does that. Hey, why did Kump not pick a black woman? Representation matters, you scumbag. Anyway, it's all been. It's all. So you're nixing this plan. No Harriet Tubman.
Yes. No Harriet Tubman, no Andrew Jackson, no George Washington.
I mean, Andrew Jackson did a lot. Andrew Jackson, I mean, you could say he shouldn't have fought the Indians, but the Indians fought back. Right? It's not like it was one-sided. I mean, I know we won.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I mean, I feel like whatever we were doing back then, where we were like, oh, we came and we conquered the Indians and it was so one-sided and brutal. I mean, everything we do now, post World War II, is worse.
Yeah.
Like more lopsided. And you go, why don't we win ever? Well, there's a lot of reasons why. Because there is no winning when you're just there to, have Halliburton build a theme park out of blood. But, the point is,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, maybe we should just I honestly, putting our victims on the money would also be, and actually Harriet Tubman would kind of qualify in that sense.
It's like John Benet Ramsey?
Yeah, but it would also be like John Benet Ramsey.
So she might be the worst victim of all time. Or like the most tragic, right? Just because.
Of all time. Yeah, maybe. I mean,
or the Lindbergh baby.
She's very sympathetic.
Is the Lindbergh baby, there's the fact that he came out as like a big Hitler supporter, did that hurt the Lindbergh baby? Because that was Charles Lindbergh's kid, right? They kidnapped Charles and they killed it, right?
Yeah, it seems like more and more like the historical view of Lindbergh is well, he tried to turn us into Nazis, so anything that happens to the Lindbergh baby is fun. It's fair game.
Was that the way? I'm surprised people don't bring that up. Like the left's always using violence, and when they have they stole Lindbergh baby. I should make a video about that. The left is out of control. Did you know they took the Lindbergh baby? They buried him in a hole. That's how the left deals with stuff. Also Tesla. First came the Lindbergh baby, and now they're crushing Teslas with fire. Honestly,
if there was any way to make that work, the left hates the Lindbergh baby. Is not a bad line. Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So all right, so here's how it would be. Ask me about because people have been going after Tesla. And I'm no Musk fan. No, I don't think I would think it would go without saying that I don't support people destroying cars of other people or anything really. I'm not a private property destroyer guy. That's not my kick.
Yeah.
But ask me about the.
Yeah, sure. So what do you think about the Tesla fires and
par for the course for the left Democrats. This is nothing new. Their playbook has always had moves like this. Back when they were calling Charles Lindbergh the man who crossed the Atlantic on a plane for the first time, a Nazi. What did they do then? They stole his baby. I think it died. All right. Now what are they doing? They're calling Musk a Nazi, and they're burning his babies, his little Tesla babies, his Cybertruck babies. They're burning them. The left does this. They go after babies. They go after kids. They play dirty. They play rough. And we're not going to have it anymore. They come down to Chuck E. Cheese on Tuesday night. We have a rally in support of the Lindbergh baby. And maybe we'll get some pizza. We'll meet and greet. I get to know you. You get to know me. Meet my wife. Something happens.
To them,
pressure.
To them, the Lindbergh baby was just some rich kid who deserves they get the guillotine too. That's how the left sees it.
They think if your father's a hero, that you belong in a hole. That's how the left sees America. They believe that if your father crosses the Atlantic, you should cross the astral plane to hell and nurse the devil's teat. Because your mom's not in the same, she's alive still, and you're not. So that's how the Democrats view conflict. I could become the king.
You could rule.
The king of Cincinnati. I should be able to, maybe I should say it first. Cincinnati.
Oh, you could
Cincinnati.
You could definitely become a regional king for sure. Maybe king of America.
Hi, the king of Cincinnati. How you doing? Mumbling scumbag. The problem is everything's national. There is no national. A lot of this whole. If you believe that these people are looking for efficiencies in the government, God bless you. I am for that. It doesn't seem like you would go goading people and just acting like a maniac and and deleting stuff, adding stuff to the list, taking it off, whatever. Maybe you would think for a second. I could be wrong. That being said, I'm all for the idea of the federal government. Some of the stuff should be local. And for the best reason is a guy like me who can get stuff done. Look up Al Smith. Al Smith, do you think he was some polished guy? You think he was like, the smoothest? I mean, he was eloquent. I could be eloquent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could be an Al Smith type guy.
Yeah.
Didn't become the president. Look, this is Al Smith. I've been reading The Power Broker by not by Robert Moses. Famously, it's not by Robert Moses. It's about him. But this is early, the first wave of his stuff. Al Smith was the governor of New York, and he loved him, and they got a bunch of stuff done. It was a wheeler dealer Democrat. I could be a wheeler dealer type. I could get my I could do horse trading. What you guys like? They want trans bathrooms, and they want barracks for their militias. Just do both, right? What if the militia bunker has a bathroom for trans kids? Problem solved, right? Let's all get some steaks. You like girls? Whiskey, cigars. I mean, that's what politics used to just be. Here's some meat. Here's a cigar to smoke. Here's a female to touch you. And it wasn't women. There were no women. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm just saying things were simpler. There's like three things. There's like meat. There's like meat, money, and women. Right. And that's how everything got done. That's how bridges got built. That's how countries got invaded. Whatever. That's how we built America. And now you have all these bureaucrats and these number crunchers, and these nerds, and these tech guys. We should be technocratic disciples. These what's that Musk thing you were telling me about? We're going into detail.
Oh yeah, like his grandfather, his maternal grandfather, was like part of some kind of, I don't know, like they wanted to build some kind of tech like oligarchy or something.
Right. We don't even steaks, women with skirts.
Yeah.
That shit. All right, this is how you build a school. You fucking take the principal, you take him out to the friggin' steakhouse, you plant some incriminating shit on him. You get him to bang some woman, and you show his wife, and then all of a sudden you got a new library. That's how America works. And that's why we've been so screwy for decades. Because we lost sight of that. Because all these rats write these articles. They go, these guys are doing this. These guys are doing that. They're wasting your money. Shut your mouth. Everything's fake. The default position is we're fighting tigers.
Right.
We're hitting people. 2001: A Space Odyssey. We're hitting people with bones. That's how we started. Right? So like, this guy is using women and whiskey and cigars to get a library built. What kind of cop are you? What is this? You're not doing it the right way. Everything's fake.
Yeah.
Everything's a lie. Let me get some books to these kids. They want to read The Giving Tree. They want to read Maniac McGee and The Indian in the Cupboard.
The Trumpet of the Swan.
Trumpet of the Swan, one of my favorites. When the swan couldn't make a noise, so they bought him a trumpet. He stole a trumpet, whatever. I think the dad gets the money somehow and buys a trumpet for the kid. And he's it's great. It's great. But E.B. White wrote it from Charlotte's Web. Right? This will be me, like reading to the. This is the intro of the book, and then I go, and now we'll read, kids. I am everything. That's all I got. I am everything. That's all I got. Thanks so much for tuning in and supporting the show. You guys are also great. Don't forget to sign up for the Patreon or like and subscribe, or don't send me your blood. That's not me. I know 23andMe is gone, but I'm not gonna. You send your blood to me, I'm not telling you anything. All right? What'd you find out? Nothing.
Yeah.
I use that blood till I planted it. You send me blood, I'll plant it on a crime. I'll wad it up, and I'll just take. I'd be so. It's the worst case scenario, by the way. Sorry, I didn't think it, but this is the worst case scenario for the 23andMe. Just some guy there who's like didn't get his overtime for some bullshit reason, and he just like takes some of the samples and wads them up like gum, and goes out to like New York. And as soon as he sees a crime, he just throws it. That's a fun idea. It's like a reverse Johnny Appleseed, kind of. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll see you all soon. Have a great week.